Hi everybody, welcome back to the Lovestead. My name is Jessica and I write the blog Lady Lovestead. The topic of today's video is gardening. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. So this is another one of those foundational videos where I'm just going to kind of go over my perspective on the topic, how I approach the topic, and give you a general overview of how it functions in my life. My glasses are fogging up here. And then, once we kind of set that foundation, same thing that we did with femininity, same thing we did with homemaking. Once we've set that foundation, then we can get into some of the more fun topics and projects with it. So, gardening, for me, I am an avid gardener. I keep a lot of house plants. I think I have, the last count I did was 32 varieties of house plants in my home. And then I also have an outdoor garden in the spring, summer, fall. And I'm always looking for new ways to find more garden spots. And gardening for me comes from ultimately a place of stewardship. So for those of you who don't already know, who maybe aren't reading my blog, I am a Christian, a practicing Christian. So for me with gardening, it really comes from my foundation and my lifestyle as a Christian. Christianity for me isn't a religion that's like one piece of my life. Like, it is my life. It is my lifestyle, is to try to live as a Christian. So for those of you who don't read my blog and don't know that, now you know that. And I also do want to preface it by saying you don't have to be a Christian to watch my videos. I am so open to people who practice other things, who believe other things. Like, it's so very individual and so personal, and I would never, disrespect someone for their spiritual, religious, philosophical beliefs. That being said, back to gardening. It is a form of stewardship for me, and stewardship within Christianity looks at everything that we have in life as a gift from God. So that rather than being owners of things, we are stewards of things, meaning that we don't own them personally. Like, they're not ours to do whatever we want with. We are taking care of things for God until God takes them back. And so I approach a lot of my life from that perspective of stewardship, including homemaking. Homemaking for me is very deeply rooted in stewardship. Like, this house is a gift from God. It is not mine. Legally, it's mine, but like, it belongs to God. The only reason I have it is because of God and what God has done in my life. And so this is a gift, and I need to take care of that gift. And it's the same concept for me with gardening, like keeping house plants and keeping a thriving garden outside is a way for me to care for the gift of the earth that God has given all of us. So when we talk about house plants in my life, they're not just like decoration. House plants are living things. Like, they're living things that deserve our care. And that's not to say I haven't killed a lot of them, because I totally have. It's a learning process. But like, they're not just like throwaway decorative items. So that is the first way that I look at gardening and houseplants. The second thing that was really important to me, especially with my outdoor gardening, is butterfly conservation. And I can't really even tell you where this stemmed from. I've always really loved butterflies since I was really little. And I had a dream probably 7 years ago of like a bunch of cocoons on my ceiling and the butterflies closing and just my house being full of them. And when I woke up from that dream, I was like, can we raise butterflies inside? Like, is that something we can do? And like, it is something you can do, and you can do it through gardening. And I just started reading a lot more about them, about their life cycles, about the different species. And monarchs are almost extinct. And that hurt me. That hurt my very soul. It like bruised my soul to think about a world without butterflies. And there are a lot of different reasons why various species are going extinct, but we as humans can do a lot to help them out. And so the garden that I have here at this house, which is a townhome slash condo, it's not like a single family home, if that makes sense. I have an HOA, so I've got rules I have to work within. But the garden that I have is pretty small here, and so I'm focused in that garden outside primarily on butterfly conservation and butterfly gardening, especially with monarchs. I'm trying to cultivate a lot of milkweed in my small space here. So that's kind of my second reason why gardening is really important to me. The third reason is when it comes to things like vegetable gardening, it's a survival skill, and it's a skill that fewer and fewer and fewer people have, especially as our country becomes more urban and less rural. And one of the reasons I love living in Iowa is because there's still that farm-based community where there are still a lot of really skilled gardeners out there, a lot of good spaces to still do your vegetable gardening, canning, all of those things that we had to do before our food system became super industrialized. So gardening, vegetable gardening is a survival skill, and it's something I'm trying to learn more about. I have not done a lot of vegetable gardening in my life. Like, we did a little bit when I was a kid, then not so much after that. And so this year I am trying out some different container gardening plants like tomatoes, peppers, etc., and kind of take you along as I learn how to do those things, and you can probably offer me a lot of advice too, which I would love. And the last reason that gardening is important to me ties into the cornerstones of my femininity that I talked about in one of my previous videos. And one of those cornerstones is nurturing. And so part of me identifying as a highly feminine person is I just came out of the womb wanting to nurture everything around me, wanting to take care of the vulnerable, wanting to nurture growth in things and protect and shield lost kittens. And like, it's who I am at my core, is just such a nurturer. And it's one of the most pure, true characteristics that I have as a human. I mean, when we try to figure ourselves out in life, a lot of that is muddled by kind of sorting through what the world expects of us, what we've accepted of the world expecting from us, what society tells us to be, and what we've subconsciously sort of ingested from societal expectations, what our parents wanted us to be. But like, when I really sat down to start peeling away those external layers telling me who I should be, one of the things that just stood out to me as being so true to who I truly am in my purest form is I am a nurturer. And I always have been. And so gardening for me fills that need to nurture things, to nurture growth, to nurture beauty. And so, it plays into that aspect of me and my feminine personality type. So tell me why gardening is important to you, whether you do indoor gardening with like houseplants, whether you have like a thriving vegetable garden or some other kind of garden. Why do you do it? What does it mean to you? Outside of just like flowers are pretty and I like to eat vegetables, like, tell me at a deeper level, like what does that do for you? What does that feed in you? Because I do want to know. I don't want to just be here like preaching at people. I want to have conversations, because like I've said in previous videos, like I have this hunger to create a community that I haven't found other places. So start talking to me, please. Let's build the community. And that's it for today's video. So I'm really looking forward to conversations with you, whether it's here or on my blog, or I also am really active on Instagram. So if you want to talk to me there too, that's always an option. Until our next video, I'll probably need to watch this and look at how I'm using my hands as I speak. You learn a lot about your public speaking skills when you start making videos. And I just realized today, I'm like, talking with my hands. Anyway. Oh, Maggie's got an itch. Alright, so we'll see you in the next video, and in the meantime, make sure to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourself and each other. Bye!